Can Zelensky still, Professor Latham, continue to fight till the end, or is this the end of the road? Because without American weapons, can he fight that war? J.D. Vance and President Trump both made it very clear he doesn't have manpower. The way people are being forced to go to the front lines, according to reports that come in. But Professor Latham, can Europe continue to support, and in what way? Money, weapons, without American support coming in?
You know, it's at the end of the day, it's really got nothing to do with American support and weapons and European weapons. The fact of the matter is that Ukraine is running out of manpower.
Yes.
They're not in a position to prosecute this war for about 5 minutes more. And it breaks my heart, in a sense, because they have fought a valiant war.
Oh, they have.
But they are out of gas. And there's no way in which one can tweak this and frame this in any other way. I'm sorry, but Ukraine is losing the war, and it's going to be lost. And there's no way in which any person can turn that around. I wish it were different. I wish the reality were different, but it's not.
So if US were to pull back, Ariel Cohen, if the US were to pull back, can Europe sustain this fight with money, material, or will Europe have to commit men on ground, and will it do that, or is just lip service, money and weapons?
I'm sorry, but does anybody think that Vladimir Putin thinks he can take over Europe? He couldn't even beat Ukraine.
Yes.
To me, it's obvious. This is from a Russian perspective, this is the worst outcome possible. You know what? They really tried hard to take over one, frankly, irrelevant bit of Europe, and they couldn't do that.
Okay. Tatiana wants to respond, Professor. With your permission, can I quickly get her to respond to this point before I come to Ariel Cohen to respond to the other point on Europe? Tatiana, you concede, I mean, the superpower Russia, after 3 years, could only take 20% of Ukraine, could not take down Kyiv, could not take down President Zelensky's team.
And why do you think, look, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. Russia never needed, nor has it ever declared as a goal to take over Ukraine. The only goal that we've been moving towards, and we've been doing that very successfully, you can, but we would need to see the maps on the screen, which you obviously don't have, is moving the Ukrainian forces out of eastern Ukraine, out of the regions that asked to join our country because Russian people were being killed there. Nobody said that we need to take over Kiev, and for God's sakes, we need to stop peddling this idea that Vladimir Putin aims to take over Europe, the world, this ridiculous claims of world domination that have been peddled by Ukraine since the beginning and by very, very scared Europeans. But just from the amount of fear going around the European Union, I would actually suggest they don't want any real engagement on the ground. Yes, they can sustain this conflict for some time.
Okay.
With arms, with guns, they would need to be on the ground because Ukrainians are there's not going to be enough Ukrainians, and very soon. That's one thing that Donald Trump has said that nobody in the West has ever even said before. It's extremely important to hear.
Okay, let me get Ariel Cohen. To respond to this. Does Europe have stomach for a fight to sustain this fight without the United States of America contribute money, material, warlike stores, or even commit men on ground, sir?
Europe doesn't have a choice. Either it's going to disintegrate as a coherent Western alliance because the United States is going to be engaged elsewhere, either in Indo-Pacific vis-a-vis China, or just withdraw into the Western hemisphere and become even more isolationist and abandon the Pacific. Could be that. But Europe has a choice. Either with the German leadership, it will need to rebuild its defenses. Germany, France, and UK, plus others. And Poland, very important. Poland, Germany, UK, and France. 2 nuclear powers, soon 3, because Germany is actively thinking about becoming a nuclear power.
Okay.
With the GDP that is going to be 7 times bigger than Russia. Of course, they could do it if they had a political will, which right now they probably don't have.
Would
As
they,
for Ukraine,
with MERS likely to take over in your view?
just let me finish one point about Ukraine allegedly run out of people. Yes, the personnel situation is dire, but given enough technology, given more drones, given more missiles, Ukraine can inflict very serious damage, and it's inflicting serious damage, for example, to the Russian refineries, and the Russian production of gasoline is going down. As to what Russia intended to do, of course, it intended to take Kiev in 3 days. The Russian spokespeople said it in February 2022. Russia, in the ultimatum of December of 2021, demanded full American and NATO withdrawal to the NATO posture of 1997, meaning all of Eastern Europe, Poland, you name it. So Russia was aiming to shift the balance of power in Europe and therefore in Eastern Hemisphere.
In fact, Tatiana, I was reporting from Kiev when the war started, and in the first phase of the war, Russian tanks had come inside or virtually at the outskirts of Kiev when suddenly the Javelin missiles that President Trump refers to, there was a massive attack of those Javelin missiles. Ukrainian forces were really fighting hard. Russian teeth came in, the tail did not follow, the tanks were out of fuel and they had to go back. We reported that on ground.